Ingani ka. Ingani ang buhay sa Canada, guys. I am Jem.
I am Narbons.
I'm Ella.
And we are the
Team
Team Janela.
Janela.
Team Janela. Team Janela. Hello guys! Good morning! So it's Saturday here in Canada. Paspas kayo ang time karon. Sa gingon nila, time flies so fast. And it's a winter season here, obviously. So it's snowing. Today there is an Ontario weather forecast or weather warning that it's gonna have a heavy snowfall that will last up until 6 centimeter today. Ingani ka. Ingani ang buhay sa Canada, guys. I hate winter season. Yung mga tao dito sa Canada, they don't like winter. Yeah, also me, I don't like winter, but I love snowfall. I love snow because it's all white and it's really, really beautiful and pretty. Like, look at my view. Ooh, diba? Amazing. It's all white. Layering taron, guys. I'm gonna count how many layers I wear today. My sandal, and on top of that is a t-shirt, and then I wear this orange jacket, and then another jacket, and then this is the last one, my coat. It feels like -14 today. It's freezing cold. It's freezing cold. Let's take it off. I don't like it. So yeah, let's go back to our discussion. We are going to talk about our Canada journey, how we came here in Canada way back 2019. We applied through that agency. I will not mention here, but as I tell you, like, it is a reliable and trustworthy agency because that's the one we use. If you want to lessen your expenses in coming here in Canada as a student pathway, it's okay to do it yourself, or what we call as DIY. But the disadvantage of that is you have to spend a lot of time and effort in researching this information. It might be good for you if you have enough time to do that. But yeah, it is less expensive because you will not pay for agency fee. Usually now is like 50,000 to 100,000. So that's a big money already, right? So you can just DIY, do it yourself if you have lots of time. You can watch YouTube videos about it, and you can go to canada.ca. That's the official website of Canada, where all the information about coming here in Canada or all about Canada, it's all there. Like nowadays, we are very dependent on online. There are this Facebook group or pages like Pinoy Student Pathway and Pinoy Canada Forum, so you can join there. And if you have lots of questions, mostly of the admin and members are very responsive. They are immediate in answering your questions, so it's just easy to like research and ask questions over there. So I am the international student. I was the main applicant. My spouse was granted with open work permit, and my child, my daughter, was granted with study permit too. But it's a different type of study permit because mine, I need to like show proof of funds. So I mean, for my child, it doesn't need to have like its own proof of funds. International student, so it means like you will study there. Of course you will. And you will become a student there. You will focus on your studies, but at the same time you can work as well. So in my case before, I was only given like the maximum of 20 hours to work, but now there is a temporary like guidelines that all the international students are allowed beyond 20 hours per week. So that's a good thing though. And yeah, let's go back to the very beginning when we applied. So through that agency, they helped us process our application. So it was me who applied first. So I went to VFS in Cebu City to submit my application. it only took 12 days to approve. So that was very quick. And it's because it was pre-pandemic. That was 2019. So most of the applications are processed very quickly. But right after the pandemic, it took more than months. Even like there are some applications almost a year. So, but it depends. There are also some applications nowadays are approved so very quickly. So yeah, so I came here August 2019. After 3 months in staying here in Canada in 2019, I applied my spouse under through the open work permit because international students, guys, here in Canada, which wherever province they will choose, they are allowed to bring their family and dependents here. How to apply? Like, or who is eligible to apply? Everybody is eligible to apply, well, as long as you are a high school graduate in your country. How to immigrate to Canada through that pathway? So number one that I would like to recommend is that read and research first about this pathway. There are a lot of informations online. Find a place first because Canada is so big. It's huge, guys. I guess it's the second largest country in the world. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. First is choose your place. Make sure that that place is a good place for you to get PR. That's the number one you have to consider, like permanent residency. Because like in our case, we chose Ontario, especially here in Toronto. It has lots of opportunities, guys, but mind you, it's really hard to get PR here. Number one, because it's very competitive. Like a lot of people migrating here are choosing Toronto because lots of jobs compared to other provinces. So what I could recommend is that choose your place. That will lead you to faster to get a PR, a permanent residency. So where is that gem? Atlantic provinces like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Prince Edward Island, and so on. Just research all those Atlantic provinces. Why we want to come here in Canada? Not just only to work. After working, you go back to Philippines? I don't think so. So of course, you want to settle here. You want to live here for good, right? So yeah, the next thing you are going to do if you already have a chosen school, choose what course that you want to take, like what program do you want to take, and make sure that your course that you choose is based on your or related to your experience, work experience, or related to your profession. Otherwise, like it's hard for you to defend visa officer to like why you study that certain course, why you want to proceed to another course. Like it's one of the requirements in visa application is your statement of purpose, wherein you have to explain everything why you want to study here in Canada, and you have to defend your course that when you go back to Philippines you can work on that certain program. I mean, like when you graduate here, you must use that program in going back home in Philippines or in any other country. Challenge the visa officer, explain about yourself, and that you are going back home. I know that they know that our main purpose is to stay here in Canada, but they just wanted to know, like, because your purpose is to study. So they just wanted to know why you want to study. So maybe just because gusto lang nilang tingnan na yeah, that's the rule. So the visa officer just wanted to follow the rule, and that's they are what looking for your application. Find the information all about the program in the school's website. So what are the requirements to submit in order to like enroll or register into that certain school? So guys, the next step is to research about the requirements to apply for that certain school. So you have to enroll first in that certain school. You can ask questions through sending an email to that school. So but you can find all the information on the school's website. What are those requirements and who are eligible for that certain program. So yeah, then you have to apply and then submit and then pay your fees, pay your tuition fees. So this is gonna be the hardest thing, talking about money. So Jem, how much? Like I know that's Canada, that's dollars. So how much is the tuition fee? As I have mentioned in the first part, like although this is the easiest way, but this is the most expensive for the tuition fees. That's like the biggest portion that you have to spend here in Canada. So during my time, by the way, my program, guys, or I mean, my course is early childhood education. So I was a teacher back home, but the agency told me we need to use your work experience, the current work experience, to choose your program. So we choose early childhood education because that is a knock B when you graduate. I mean, even when you're not a graduate yet of that course, when you apply for daycare centers, that's even only if you are an assistant, that's already a knock B. Right now, they changed that into tier. The knock classification thing, they changed already to tier. So just choose it. We need that knock classification, especially knock 0, A, and B that time during our time to extend our permit, especially for my dependents. So I should have a work that has that classification when we apply for extension. So yeah, so that's why we chose that certain course. So yeah, let's go back to the tuition fees, the amount of tuition fees. So in my case before, that was pre-pandemic again, as I mentioned, like we paid the first tuition fee amounting to almost 300,000 because that time the rate, the Canadian dollar rate to Philippine peso is a bit lower. So right now, this day conversion rate is 1 Canadian dollar is equivalent to 40.80 Philippine pesos. So let's say the tuition fees is 7,000 to 8,000 per semester. So yeah, you will study here for 2 years. I mean, like you can choose 1 year program or 2 years program, but in my case, we chose 2 years program because when you apply for postgraduate work permit, you are given 3 years. If you have 2 years program, you're gonna have 3 years work permit. If you will only choose 1 year program, then you will be given only 1 year work permit. So that's a very short period of time to prepare for your permanent residency. Even me today, like I already graduated my 2 years program, so basically I already have granted with 3 years work permit, and I already have 1 year work experience. Still, I have really a hard time to apply for PR because yeah, as I mentioned, I am here in Toronto, which is very competitive. So yeah, that's the tuition fee. It's very expensive, so you have to pay like 300,000 per sem, and 2 years has 4 semesters. Yeah, so that's why you're gonna have your proof of funds. When one of the requirements is a proof of funds, that's what we call show money. And show money, they said you have heard that it's about 1 million. The list is 1 million. Exactly right. It's because that show money, although you are not spending that in one time before you come here to Canada, but you will really spend that in the future, like your tuition fees, like your bills, your rent, your bus pass, your food, and everything, your expenses here in Canada. So yeah, it's really cold in here now. My hands are freezing. My hands are like very cold, even though I'm wearing the gloves and my feet. And it's minus, feels like -8, and been here already for 30 minutes, and it's too much for me. So let's get quick into this discussion. So how much? Yeah, that's it. So 300,000 times 4 semesters if you're going to choose the 2 years program. And then what's next, Jem? After paying my tuition fees, so you have to wait for. I mean, you have to submit all the requirements for the school application. So if you are approved in a certain school, you will be given a letter of acceptance, and that is one of the requirements that you will use for your visa application stage. So visa application stage, guys, is the next step and the last step for the application. So that's the time that you are going to apply for your visa. And what are the requirements? A lot: medical, your letter of acceptance. I will just include the link for the requirements in my description below for your reference. So yeah, so that's the last step. You are to apply for a visa, and then when you are approved, congratulations. But that's not the end of That's not the end of your life. That's not the success yet, guys. So when you are approved with your visa, we thought that that's the end. That's the success already. No, it's just the starting point. Because when you come here in Canada, that's the main part. Like that's the hardest part. Application is not the hardest part. Staying, living, and chasing for permanent residency is the most difficult part of this Canada dream. So yeah, I will be like, it's really really cold already, guys, and I cannot endure already. My hands are cold, my feet are cold, and I need to move. Like I don't know if I continue with this or yeah, let me move first.